Well, please indulge me. I'm going to do something completely different. When someone you love dies, you have an automatic, invisible but quite visible fork in the road to decide what you're going to do about all that emotion and all those memories and all that inspiration. And tonight I would like to pay a few moments of homage to the dear aria from the Slits, easily one of the most influential and sadly hardly recognized rock bands in history. She stood for, if you have no money, make it yourself. If you don't know how to do it, teach yourself. Don't be a bubblehead. Don't conform. Don't become suburbia, blow it up. Reinvent the norm. And wrote and co-wrote dozens of the most clever, innovative, and uncoverable tunes a songwriter could ever hope to try to imitate. I think this artist single-handedly reinvented what I thought about music, what I thought about art, what I thought about fashion, what I thought about movement, what I thought about expression, but more than anything, what I thought about myself. I think a lot of people will begin to come out of the woodwork and say that R.E.P. was a unique, one-of-a-kind example of what to do if you're a total misfit. You stand up on the biggest box you can find and you scream the loudest that you can and say, I don't care if you accept me, I'm never going away. In the beginning, there was Ari. There's a man who lives next door in my neighborhood. In my neighborhood, he gets me down. I play music late at night, always fuss and fight, always fuss and fight, all through the night. I've got to get away from here. This is not a place for me to stay. I've got to take my family and find a noisier place to be. And find a noisier place to be. Hear the pots and pans, they fall, bang against the wall, bang against the wall, no rest at all. I play music late at night, always fuss and fight, always fuss and fight, all through the night. I've got to get away from here. This is not a place for me to stay. got to take my family and find a noisier place to be. Where is the sun? Where is the sun? Where is someone new town where everybody goes around sniffing television-o or taking footballino? New town, new town, new town, new town, new town. Give me another fix. I need another fix. If not, I go sick. If not, I go sick. I'd be sick. I've got to get away from here. This is not a place for me to stay. I've got to take my family and find a noisier place to be. Find a noisier place to be. Who invented the typical girl who's bringing out the new news bulletin? There's another marketing ploy. A typical girl gets a typical boy. Who invented the typical girl who's bringing out the new news bulletin? There's another marketing ploy. A typical girl gets a typical boy. A typical girl gets a typical boy. A typical boy gets a typical girl. A typical girl gets a typical boy. Where is the sun? Where is the sun? Where is someone? I've got to get away from here. This is not a place for me to stay. I've got to take my family and find a noisier place to be. Find a noisier place to be. I hope you found that noisier place, Ari. Because in the end, there's still Ari.